2 square kilometers of cliff face, billions of dollars in real estate, and one of the most unforgiving street circuits in the world. Welcome to Monaco. Rather than tackling the track in a Formula One car, today we're taking the vertical approach. We're flying the French Riviera to map out the Monaco Grand Prix circuit from above, to see exactly why this tiny harbour layout has challenged the greatest drivers in history. G'day everyone, Z21 here, you can call me Z. Today we're taking off from Nice Côte d'Azur, which is about 20 kilometers west of Monaco. We're flying the Cirrus SR22 today. It's a highly capable single-engine aircraft with a cruising speed of around 180 knots, which is about 340 kilometers an hour. It also features the CAPS airframe parachute system, providing some solid peace of mind when flying at low altitudes over a densely populated coastline. I requested a pushback from gate 21, of course, but moving the camera caused our first glitch. The vehicle disappeared and we had a never-ending pushback. Not even full throttle could break it. Okay, let's start from the runway for takeoff. Such a cool feeling to be taking off on a beautiful sunny day in the Mediterranean. I can imagine living in this region along a stunningly scenic coastline. Alright, we've managed to lift off successfully and start our unauthorized flight path east along the coast. It's actually a short flight to Monaco over small villages, rocky cliffs, islands and shorelines before reaching the Principality. As we climb out, you get a brilliant view of Nice stretching out below us. That massive curve of a coastline is the Baie des Anges, the Bay of Angels, with the Promenade des Anglais hugging the beach. It's basically the unofficial capital of the French Riviera. Seeing the city layout against that vibrant blue water, it's pretty obvious why artists and the European elite have been flocking here for centuries. Let's sit back and enjoy a bit of the scenic flight on our way to Monaco. And there it is, in the distance ahead, Monaco. The Monaco Grand Prix was established in 1929, well before the Formula One World Championship, which began in 1950. The Monaco Grand Prix was conceived by a local named Anthony Nogus, and the layout we are approaching is remarkably close to his original design. The harbour, which we'll see shortly, is full of boats of the rich and famous, transforming from a fortified medieval port to a city that sparkles with royalty, immense wealth, and the high life. There is a population of around 40,000 residents, but on busy days, such as an F1 weekend, there could be up to 100,000 people or more visiting the Principality. Visually, you can immediately see the pool stand out, but as we fly around the circuit, it's surrounded by apartments, hotels, and buildings, with the roads tightly weaving between. It's a truly stunning view, and soon we'll dive down for a close-up. Okay, now for a low altitude track view. It's 3.3 kilometers with 19 corners and a 42-meter elevation change. Crossing the start-finish line, we head into Turn 1, Saint Devote. With a smooth exit to build a lap, the circuit climbs steeply up Beau Rivage. Drivers need to maximize traction to carry speed up the sheer gradient before arriving at Massenet and Casino Square. The braking here is completely blind over a crest, and drivers have to use their peripheral vision to know exactly when to hit the brakes. Coming out of Casino Square, there's a tree root under the tarmac as the track drops downhill. Approaching Mirabeau, there is a crown in the middle of the road, so you have to straddle the center before dropping down into the apex. Then we arrive at the hairpin, the slowest corner on the F1 calendar. Drivers will go to full lock and deliberately use the understeer on the front axle to scrub off speed at 50 kilometers an hour. Hooking right at Portiere, the track runs down to the water. You actually have to look completely past the first apex to the second one to get a launch into the tunnel. This is the fastest section of the circuit. The aerodynamics shift entirely, the lighting drops, and the engine noise bouncing off the walls is chaotic. You can imagine the sound of a growling V10 engine through the tunnel. Bursting out of the tunnel, back into the bright sunlight, drivers hit the brakes incredibly hard for the Novelle chicane. The track then traces the harbour edge down to Tabac. This corner is lethal because just before the braking point, the barrier on the right side is slightly closer, causing drivers to clip it. We then fly through the swimming pool section, or the piscine. Through the fast right-hander, you want to get as close as possible to the barrier. Then the final sector requires pinpoint precision through La Rascasse, using the front axle to slow the car down again. Then accelerating through the final tight right-hander, Anthony Nogues. Drivers aim to get a perfect launch for the main straight. Now, pulling back into the cockpit of the Cirrus SR22, we'll do one final pass around Monaco before setting our heading west back towards Nice. It truly is a crown jewel of the season. Not specifically because of the races it produces, but because of the spectacle it creates, and a rich history of nearly a century. As we cruise back along the coastline, it really highlights just how dramatic the geography of the French Riviera is. You have the maritime Alps essentially plunging straight down into the Mediterranean. Because there's virtually no flat land, everything is carved directly into the cliff faces. It used to be just a string of quiet fishing villages, but once the railway was cut through the rock in the late 19th century, it transformed into the ultimate playground for the European elite. It's a beautiful part of the world. As I approached the west end of the runway at Nice, I completely misjudged the turn and had to call a missed approach to circle back around to give some distance and another attempt. However, get ready for a rough landing. Definitely not the smoothest arrival, but we are down in one piece. The plane is intact and no emergency parachute required. I clearly have some homework to do on my approach speeds before the next flight. But anyway, that was really fun. I hope you enjoyed the flight, the scenery, and of course the Monaco GP circuit. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you next time.